Okay, Christian attitudes towards homosexuality. Well, let's look firstly against arguments against. Make sure you know at least one quote that you can use to describe this. Um, One issue is that homosexuality is seen to be a sin because it's God's plan for humanity and it's forbidden in the Bible. So a literalist interpretation would say this: do not lie with another man as one lies with a woman. That is detestable, or that is an abomination. So that's a literalist interpretation. It's seen to be detestable. It's seen to be an abomination. Other people, other Catholic or absolutists might state that people have a duty to go forth and multiply. So as a result, homosexual sex is seen to be wrong because it does not fulfil that duty. And it could be argued that the mother and father are able to provide different gifts and talents in raising of children in a way that homosexuals might not, because they're people who are of different genders. It can be seen to be going against God's natural plan. So the idea that man and woman will leave each other, two will become flesh, one flesh. It's not women and men. It's not men and men leaving each other and becoming one flesh. So women were created for men, or men were created for women, not men created for each other. And they are of so that could be seen to be wrong. And also there's the Catholic teaching that homosexual people should actually be celibate, which is another perspective saying, well, you know, if you think you're gay and you're gay, well, then don't have sex, because sex is a sin then. Another idea is that it's a slippery slope towards lust. If you have a situation where people are, if you look at the context of homosexuality in the past, if you look at the Greeks and people along these lines, men would have sex with men and women would have sex with women in situations where they do not want to have sex without getting pregnant. Bear in mind that contraception, all that medical technology, was not around before, you know, morning after pills, condoms and such. So instead, if people wanted to have sex with each other purely for lustful reasons, they would be having sex with people of the same gender because they can't get pregnant. So as a result, within the Bible, it was argued that it was wrong to be homosexual in that context of that society, because that would lead to more people becoming lustful. So homosexuality it was seen to be lustful. However, today it could be argued that now we don't need to worry about those things. There is such thing as homosexual love, and in those circumstances you could argue that that's where it's okay. So let's move over now to arguments for. As a result, by the way, you've got the destruction of sodomy. Sodomy is referring to anal sex, and as a result, Sodom was destroyed because there were men taking part in that kind of action. Those are the arguments against. Now let's go to arguments for. So reasons why homosexual sex is seen to be okay, or a perfectly good thing. The Church of England, you know, so if you look at this as a, love your neighbour or treat other people like you wish to be treated. If you were gay, how would you want to be treated? Surely it would be perfectly fine for those people to embrace each other and love each other. Also, love is patient, love is kind. You know, that's an important thing. So people who cannot live celibate lives are welcomed into the church. Some Christians believe that homosexuality is an example of people... Okay, this is interesting. Oh, gosh. Right, I haven't come across this one before. Is the idea that homosexuality is a gift from God, a creative variety that God has seen as humanity. You knit me together in my mother's womb. Your kingdom come, your will be done. God has made you gay. That's the same way that God has made you a man or a woman. So if you're made gay, you're made gay by God, that's something to be embraced, and that's fine for people to love each other as men and men or women and women. Some Christians believe that it's the quality of the relationship that matters. They argue that a loving, faithful, committed homosexual relationship are just as holy as a heterosexual one. If you've got two fathers taking care of an adopted child who doesn't have parents, surely that's a good thing. Yeah, that would be a relativist perspective. Yeah, if you were a child who had no parent, and the only people available were two women or two men, isn't that a good thing? That would be a relativist, Protestant, non-literalist interpretation, putting the Bible into context and such. And that's on homosexuality.